Hello everyone, this is Dr. Glenda Rose here in hot and steamy Austin, Texas in the United States. This is Great English Online, and this week we are doing Passive Voice Part 2. If you missed the first part, you can go to greatenglishonline.com, look for free practice, and there are some video exercises including last week's activity on the first part of active and passive voice. In active voice, normally the object receives the action of the verb. So we have John throws the snowball. We see John in the sentence first because we want to draw attention to the person or thing doing the action, then the verb, and then the object is the least important. In passive voice, we want to bring attention to the person or object receiving the action first. In our sentence, the snowball. So we move the snowball from the end of the sentence to the beginning. The snowball is thrown, and then we can add the person at the end by John. The snowball is thrown by John. That focuses our attention on the snowball rather than on John. Why would we want to focus on the person or thing receiving the action? In one case, the product and process may be more important than the performer. For example, first, blood samples were collected from each participant. In this case, establishing the order of the procedure in an experiment, for example, is more important than who conducted the procedure. Another case may be when the performer is not known, or we don't want to say who the performer is. My bike was stolen last Friday. Unfortunately, that is also true. I don't know who stole my bike, so I use the passive. Remember, only transitive sentences that have that subject-verb-object construction, can be made passive. John threw the snowball. The snowball was thrown by John. But John slipped and fell has no object. It doesn't happen to something else. It happens to John, and therefore it's intransitive, and we cannot make it passive. In some cases, sentences have two objects. They have a direct and an indirect object. John threw Mary the ball. So here we have John as the subject, threw is the verb. Mary is the indirect object. John didn't throw Mary. John threw the ball. The ball is the direct object. But Mary was the recipient of the ball and therefore indirectly the recipient of the throwing. And so she's the indirect object. When that happens for the passive voice, we have two options. We can say, Mary was thrown the ball by John, putting the indirect object in focus at the beginning of the sentence, or the ball was thrown to Mary by John. Now that to is important. If we go with the direct object as the subject of our passive sentence, if we want to include the indirect object, we need to add to here, and the by John is optional. Remember that the verb be is the auxiliary for forming the passive. We use the past participle, third form of the main verb, but we must have a form of be, and it should be in the same tense as the original sentence. Here are some examples. John is telling a story. What tense is that? Present progressive or present continuous. A story is being told by John. So you see we have be in the progressive, which we don't normally use, but we can use it in the passive. Is being, and then we have the third form told for the main verb. John was telling a story. What tense is that? That's past progressive or past continuous. And a story was being told by John. John told a story. What tense is told? Simple past. So we will use the simple past of to be. A story was told by John. John has told a story. What tense is that? That's the present perfect. So a story has been told by John. There's the has been is the present perfect of the verb to be. So whatever the original sentence tense is, use be in that tense to make your passive voice construction. Okay, if you're ready, try the quiz. It's at www.greatenglishonline.com in the free practice session. Thank you for coming today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you enjoy these free activities and videos, please consider contributing. Go to www.greatenglishonline.com/donate.html. We have private lessons, group lessons, full courses, editing, and lots of free activities. So we hope to see you there. Thanks, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.